Hello. In this video we are going to be talking about the Salvia Divinorum, and I'm going to share with you my experience with the Salvia Divinorum and what it taught me about the life. Little disclaimer, I am not promoting any psychedelics, any drugs or anything. I am just sharing with you my experience, so take it just as an experience. And Salvia Divinorum is something that I probably wouldn't recommend to anyone, but yeah. It was maybe a few years ago that I decided that I am going to try Salvia Divinorum, and I bought Extract 20x. I had some experiences with psychedelics. I had mushrooms many times, and I had ayahuasca, but that's about it. And yeah, I didn't do that much research about Salvia because I was thinking that it is going to be something, similar to mushrooms maybe. And I was reading that it's going to last only 5 minutes. So I was like, okay, I can handle 5 minutes no matter what's going to happen. So yeah. I bought Extract 20x and I went to my neighbor house. He was like living on my street. Really amazing guy. He was maybe 10 years older than me. And I told him that I have some salvia and if he wants and so on. So yeah. So we were smoking. One more time, I do not want to make this as recipe how to smoke weed or salvia, but we had like these old school bongs when you have like a plastic bottle which is like big, and then you have a smaller one, and you have something like an aluminium. We didn't have aluminium, we had something much more sophisticated, but basically these old school bongs. So yeah. I smoked the salvia and it didn't do me anything. He smoked the salvia and it didn't do anything. The reason for that is that I didn't realize back then, I didn't have any experience with DMT or something, and I didn't realize that I have to hold when I smoke for maybe 15-20 seconds. I was holding it as, a regular bong, so I was holding it maybe 3 seconds. So when I took my first hit, I cannot say that it didn't do anything. It did, but very, very little. So I smoked it. We were in some kind of, I have to describe this a little bit. My neighbor, he has like a house, and on the house, in the backyard, he had a van which no longer has wheels or something. So it was just a van where he has some kind of stuff and bongs and so on. So yeah. So we were smoking it inside of the van, and I took one big hit, hold it maybe for 3 seconds, and I went outside, and I was like outside looking on the sky, and it seemed to me that things which are on the left side were on the right side, and which were on the right side were on the left side. So a little hallucination, but nothing too much. We smoked maybe 5 or 6 of these bongs later on, and it didn't do anything. So I was disappointed. Few weeks later, or a few days later, I don't remember exactly, one more time I came to my neighbor's house, and I still had some salvia because I ordered maybe 3 grams, and I was like, let's give it one more try, maybe it's going to do something. So yeah, one more time we smoked it, one more time it didn't do anything, and I was really disappointed. So I had maybe last half gram or something, and I was like, okay, I am going to give it a last try. So I went to the van, I made myself a bong, and I made it like full in, like a lot of salvia, and I smoked it, and I was waiting maybe 20, maybe 15, 20 seconds. So I wasn't like thinking about it, but I was like, okay, let's try to hold it longer. And while I was holding it for the 15, 20 seconds, I was like burning the bong one more time, and there was still a lot of it. So after these 15 seconds, I inhale the opposite of inhale, I don't know, but I put it away and get a second bong. And the second bong I was also holding, and yeah. And right now, the salvia hit it like it should hit. Okay? Out of nowhere, I became the one. I became the room where I was. And I was like, I didn't expect it. And I didn't know that it is because of the salvia. I was in the room. I knew that I am inside the van of my friend, but I became the van. I couldn't move, and I didn't put it together with smoking salvia. I was like, something horrible happened, and I was thinking that it is going to be like that forever. And I was thinking that my mom, that's one of my thought, I was thinking that my mother will have to forever, if she want to see me, come to that one and look at me. And I was thinking that she is going to see me as some kind of painting on the wall, and she is going to be horrified that I became the painting on the wall, and so on. The funny thing is that after my salvia trip ended, I didn't have any memory of this. I didn't have any memory of becoming the one, of thinking about my mother, seeing me, and so on. So yeah, but we will get to that. So this part was something that I 10 minutes later, when I woke up from this salvia trip, I didn't remember. Also, there was after this something which I also don't remember that much, but it was something which was like creating me, destroying me, morphing me, and so on. But what I remember from this trip is that I died. I don't know, it was like I was somewhere, I saw my father, I saw my the house of my parents, and I knew that I died. I didn't have any memory of smoking salvia. I didn't know that I died because of smoking salvia, but I just knew that these are my last moments. There is nothing I can do about it. This is it, and I fucked up and I died. And then, this wasn't like going from one to another, this is what I could remember after that. So yeah, I died, and then I was in some kind of room, and the room was spinning, and I was falling, and it was spinning, and I was falling, and yeah, I spent a lot of time in a room which was spinning, and I was falling, and so on. And when I was in this room, still not knowing about taking a salvia, still not knowing about that this is hallucination or something, I fall down in a real life. So in the salvia trip, the room, but it was I was somewhere else. It wasn't like the room, the one. So I was in some other place, and the room was spinning. But then I fallen in a real life, and I opened my eyes, and in front of me on the chair was the bong, and I immediately realized that all of this was just a salvia, that I didn't die, and so on. My neighbor, he was like good friend, but he was not the best trip sitter, so he didn't care much about me. And also he was like, he knew that Salvia is not doing anything because because he didn't. So yeah. So he didn't care about me that much, and so on. When I fall down and I open my eyes, and I realized that all of this was just a salvia, I was still not okay. I was still like tripping hard, but at least I knew that I survived and so on. And I was in this van, and I was thinking that if I go outside of this van, I will die. I was thinking that in this van, I am safe, but as soon as I step outside, the outside there is death, there is dying. So yeah, I was waiting maybe a few minutes, and this slowly was fading away. And then I found the courage to go outside of the van, because I was like, okay, maybe right now, if I go outside, I will survive. And I did, and yeah. So this is my Salvia trip, the first one. We will continue because I did it later on, but much less. But yeah. But after I like went outside the van, I get myself a cold beer, and I was like, I need to, somehow breathe, and because I was in shock what just happened. But yeah, but I didn't remember, I didn't have any memory of becoming the van. I didn't have any memory of thinking that right now my mother is going to see me as a painting on the wall. I didn't have any memory of Salvia morphing me, destroying me, and so on. I only had a memory of me dying, seeing my father, seeing my house, and knowing that this is it, and that I was in that room which was spinning, and so on. On the next few nights, I was waking up to some kind of darkness. Something during the night was pulling me to dying, to, I don't know if it was like during the sleep or while I was falling asleep. It was something like when you have the sleep paralysis, you are somewhere in between the sleep and being woke up. But something for the next 3 or 4 nights was like pulling me into the darkness, into the death, and yeah. 2 or 3 weeks later, I still had some salvia at home. I decided that we are going to smoke one more time, but right now only a little bit. So right now my neighbor also smoked full in. He holded it, and he had his own experience. Also, he described it as the most terrible thing that happened to him. But yeah, his one was that everybody died, and he was the last one, and there was some kind of fire behind him, and the fire wanted to kill him, and he was fighting to not die, and yeah. But I smoked again, and but right now only little bit, and I was holding it, and I became 2D. I don't know how to describe it, but there was nothing in front of me. I only existed as a 2D from my left, like maybe 20 meters to the left to 20 meters to the right. I was just 2D thing. And then I realized while I was 2D that I already experienced this. And I the memory came to my mind that this is the same feeling as when I became the room. And I realized while I was 2D that this is a salvia, and yeah. Okay. 1 year later, I smoked one more time salvia. I don't know, sometimes even though the thing is terrible, you are just continue doing your things. And when I smoked the salvia a year later, it was kind of not amazing, but it was great and it was funny because I knew that if I am not going to smoke too much, I am going to get a strong hallucination, but I am going to be still aware of who I am. So I smoked like maybe 30 milligrams, 40 milligrams of 20x, and I became the concrete which was on my neighbor backyard, and I was maybe 20 meters long. I couldn't move. There was like nothing you could do to make me move because I had 20 meters. I was made out of the concrete, and but I knew that it is salvia, and I was enjoying it because I was tripping hard. I was unable to move, but I knew that it is salvia because I had experience with becoming the object, and I not really, but I enjoyed it because So now, with this being said, let's talk about what Salvia told me about the life later on. But before of that, I just want to say that there are people who had like much stronger experiences with the Salvia. Like there are people who say that they were for years somewhere with no memory of this life, and I completely believe them. I didn't have that experience, but I had this experience of time freezing. When I became 2D, I was like, the time stopped. And I can imagine that somebody who is going to smoke maybe 40x or 80x can easily go somewhere for years. I really believe those people because, later on in my life, I had DMT, and Salvia for me was way stronger than DMT. But now, what Salvia told me about the life. One thing which was kind of interesting is that I kind of lost a fear of supernatural things. Like, I don't know if this exists, but you may have some ghosts, spirits, and so on. And I was like, my Salvia experience was so alien. It is so alien to become the object, to not be your body, but that your body is everything. That I was thinking like, even if aliens are going to show up, or if I am going to see a ghost or something, it's not going to be that big deal as a Salvia. And what happened to me is that I had a sleep paralysis. Few months later, I don't know, maybe few weeks, maybe 1 year later, I don't know. But after my the terrible experience with the Salvia, when I died, I had a sleep paralysis, and I had sleep paralysis maybe 40 times in my life, and every time it was scary. But this time I had a sleep paralysis maybe after 2 years, and there was an entity, like big shadow entity over me, and I was thinking that it is a reality. I didn't know that I am dreaming or something. And with the biggest peace, I told to that entity that I am not afraid of you. And I was thinking in my mind that if I compare you, black shadow entity, with Salvia Divinorum, you are funny for me. And and it was I woke up and I felt great because, when there is like some kind of entity, shadow over you in a sleep paralysis, and you completely don't care, and you are like, I am not afraid of you at all. It felt really good. Another thing that Salvia told me about life is not like it told me about life, but it gave me some kind of perspective, because until this day, I don't know if there is a soul and we are more than just a brain, and there is, something which incarnates and the universe is in some way spiritual, or there is nothing and we die and that's it. This is something that I don't know and I am really interested. I don't have preferences. I am like, I just want to know if there is something after death, fine. If not, fine. But Salvia told me that you can experience something which seems 100% real and it is just a hallucination. Okay? So in that sense, I was thinking that I feel that I am the body, you know? In like Buddhist and some teachings, they say that you are not your body, you are not your mind, and so on. But in a real life, you are like, at least I am 100% convinced that I am the body, because if you are going to cut me, I am going to feel the pain. I can move my hands, I can move my legs, I can do anything. So it's like hard to, you know, imagine that I am not the body when I am the body, you know? So yeah. But on a Salvia, I had experience that my body is a room, that my body is concrete, that my body is 40 meters, and that experience was as real as the experience as being right now in the body. And I was thinking that if Salvia was just a hallucination, then maybe, you know, being in the body and so on is also in some way some kind of hallucination of illusion, and there is, you know, some kind of soul or spirit which is not the body but which feel right now in the body that it is the body. So yeah, I am not saying that it is like so, but it was just a little piece of my puzzle of exploring the consciousness and yeah. One thing that I want to a little bit differentiate is that when you are meditating, at least I have this experience that you can be in a meditative state, and when I am in this state, I can also feel that I am part of everything and everything is part of me. But there is a big difference between that experience and Salvia experience. Because in the meditation, I can feel that I have 50 meters, but it doesn't feel that my body has 50 meters. It feels more that I don't have a body, and my spirit, my soul, or something etheric with me is part of everything, and that everything is part of me. So the meditation for me is like you can have 40 meters, but in a spiritual, in a not material way. And Salvia is complete opposite for me, because your body, your physical body is having 40 meters or anything. And yeah. So yeah, this is my experience with Salvia Divinorum. I don't know if I would take it again. I would be probably afraid, like, I don't know. And then I had a dream with some woman who told me that I shouldn't smoke Salvia and that if I won, I should do something which is more spiritual. She didn't say what, but maybe meant like DMT or, you know, ayahuasca or shrooms or something. But yeah, I had a dream where some woman told me like, don't smoke it again. But even without this dream, I would probably be, you know, you do not want to go there. I would be really afraid right now. And yeah. So yeah, Salvia Divinorum is something that is my biggest underestimation of life. I never underestimated anything like a Salvia. Okay, so yeah. Okay, I am going to finish this. This was just my experience with the Salvia. This channel is not about, psychedelics, but I can make few videos about my experiences and yeah. So, yeah, let me know in the comments your experiences or what you think. And yeah, thank you, take care, and goodbye.